Today is a regular core Java session. It's a regular core Java class. Any of you joined for workshop, just giving information to you. Today class is regular core Java batch session. As part of our batch, we completed multi-threading chapter. Now we are trying to understand the next important enhancement, that is multi-threading enhancement. So I would like to invite you for this workshop. So we have announced as free class. Okay. Do you guys have already knowledge on multi-threading? People who joined newly? Yeah. So if you have multi-threading knowledge, then you will understand this class. So if you don't have multi-threading knowledge, then it will be difficult for you. So no, sir, just we will see how these things are going on means you can be here. Okay. Now let's try to understand. What is this? In this session, we are going to learn. In this workshop, we are learning first Callable. Okay, the topic is actually Executor framework. It is a Java 5 newly added topic, Executor framework. Some people call it as Executor framework. Some people call it as Executors. Some people call it as Executor services. Okay, any of the three words, topic is same. Executor framework, executors, executor services. Okay, now as part of this, first we should understand callable interface and difference between runnable and callable. Okay, this is the first topic. Next, we should understand executor framework. Executor framework. As part of executor framework, first you should get clarity on executor, then executor service, and then future. Okay, future. So these are the three things we need to understand. As part of executor framework, we need to understand these are the three classes. So callable interface. To run the logic given by the callable interface, we have executor framework. As part of executor framework, we have to use executor, executor service, and then what? Future. These are the three classes we have to learn. And what is the basic idea we are going to learn? As part of this workshop, you are going to learn, or as part of the executor framework, you are going to learn creating multiple custom threads. Okay, creating multiple custom threads. Creating multiple custom threads. Okay, in an automated way. In an automated way. So you will learn creating custom threads manual way. Now we are trying to learn automated way. By using executor framework, we can create multiple custom threads automatically. We no need to write any extra code. So these are the points we are learning. Then we are also finalizing different ways of creating custom thread. Different ways of creating custom thread. And then also we are going to learn there are totally 8 ways or 10 ways, I guess, 10 ways of submitting logic to execute in custom thread. Okay, to execute in custom thread. So these are the 5 topics we are learning. This 5th point is very interesting. And of course, 4th point is there is some confusion in the Java community. People should also more focus, and the correct way of giving answer to the interviewer also you should learn here. And this is very interesting. You will definitely enjoy. So this is the totally 5 points we are learning as part of this workshop. So first we are understanding about callable interface, then executor framework, then creating multiple custom threads in an automated way by using executor framework, then different ways of creating custom threads, conclusion, and 10 different ways to submit logic to execute in custom thread. Okay, now let's start with first one is what? Callable interface related point. Callable interface and difference between runnable and callable. Okay, first, people who joined newly, for this material, I will update this material in the Google Classroom so that you can download this material after class. So first you try to join in this Google Classroom. Regular students don't join. You are already having your own Google Classroom. This is for new students who join. Yeah, this is Google Classroom code. 1 second, this is confusion. Yeah, please take this Google Classroom code for new students on who join for this workshop. Only for those students. Regular batch students don't take. You have already regular Google Classroom. Yeah, please join this Google Classroom code. I will upload these notes after class. You can collect it. Okay. Right. Now come back. And now first point, what you are trying to understand? Callable interface. So tell me. First point is what? What is a callable? The callable is an interface. What interface it is? There are three types of interfaces are there. Number one, marker interface. Number two, functional interface. Number three, what do you call a business interface, normal interface. Now, callable is a what interface? Callable is a functional interface. The callable is a functional interface. When I can call a interface is a functional interface if it contain only one abstract method. Okay, if it contain only one abstract method, then we call it as what? Functional interface. The callable is a functional interface. What the use of it? It is used for what the use of it? It is used for supplying logic to execute in a custom thread. To execute in a custom thread. You may ask me question, sir, already we have runnable now, then what required of callable? I'll tell you. Okay, this callable is not a normal interface, it is a generic interface. Okay, callable of generic. This is generic syntax. Okay, the callable is a functional interface. It is used for supply logic to execute in a custom thread. To supply logic in custom thread, I should have a method now. Okay, what is the method? It has below method. What is the name of the runnable interface method? Runnable run. Callable call. It has a below method. It has below method. What is the method? Public. It is not a void method. What is the run method prototype? Public void run with a parameter, without parameter, But now callable is not a void method. It is a return type method. T. Whatever the T you have taken here, what is the type you have taken here, the same type will be coming. Next method name is what? Call. Okay. And it has throws exception. So tell me, what is the difference between, by seeing this method prototype, you can decide what the difference between runnable and callable. Okay. The difference between runnable and callable. Point number one, both are meant for supplying logic to execute in custom thread. Both are meant for supplying logic to execute in custom thread. Okay. Then what is the difference? Observe, runnable dot run method doesn't return a value or object and doesn't throw and cannot throw. It can throw exception. Which exception cannot throw? For throwing unchecked exception, do we need to have any throws keyword to the method? No. For throwing checked exception, what I required? No. For throwing checked exception, method should have throws keyword. So cannot throw checked exception. Okay, try to observe. What is the run method prototype? Return type is void, doesn't have throws checked exception. But whereas if you observe call method has a return type what? T, means it can return any type of value or object. And next, it has a throws exception. Because it has throws exception, can we throw any exception? Yes. So if I choose runnable run method, doesn't return a value or object and also cannot throw exception. Runnable dot run method, number one, cannot return or doesn't return anything you can write, cannot return a value or an object. Number two, cannot throw checked exception. So tell me, once I submit my logic to the custom thread, sometimes I want some return value. I want to get the status. What happened to my logic? My logic successfully completed or not completed, I wanted to know. For example, you assign a task to one person. You just inform to, for example, you say you are sending one packet. Okay, courier you are doing. You give your packet to the courier boy. Then tell me, courier boy is taking the packet from you. You are the main thread. Courier boy is what? A custom thread. You submit it from the main thread. You submit a task to the custom thread. Then custom thread running. You wanted to know the result, whether it is safely delivered to your targeted person or not. You wanted to know. Na? If I use runnable.run method, is the courier delivered or not delivered? We got exception. Is that information can you get or cannot get? Cannot get. If I use callable dot run method, call method, callable dot call method, cannot can return a value or an object, and also can throw checked exception. So if you wanted to get some status out of your custom thread, either value or exception, then what interface I have to use? Callable. So when to use runnable, when to use callable. I don't want any result. Just I want to submit the task to the thread to run. Complete normally or exception, I don't care. My job is only submit the task and leave it. So then completing, not completing, further status, I don't care. Then in that case, what I have to use? Runnable. I wanted to know after submitting the task, I want to know whether the task is successfully completed or not. If completed, what is the result generated? I want to get that result. Then I have to use what? Call. Point is clear? Next point, very important. Tell me, if you take runnable, how can we develop the runnable implementation class? My runnable implements runnable. Okay, my runnable implements runnable, open bracket. Inside, we should override run method. Override, what do you write? Public void run, open bracket, closed bracket. System dot out dot println of. System dot out dot println of. Here I am writing double quotes, say my runnable run. Okay, then how to run this run method in the custom thread? Test 0, 1. Now here I have to use, I should create my runnable object, my runnable, mr equal to new my runnable. Then I should create thread class object now. Thread th equal to new thread of, I should pass what? Mr. Then th dot start I have to call. Okay. Then tell me, if I run this class, what happened? Yeah, I'll correct it. So this is the 30th program, right? Runnable spelling mistake. 49. Compile and executed. So now my runnable run method executed. What is the memory diagram? What is the execution flow memory diagram? This is our JVM. Inside JVM, we have Java stacks area. In Java stacks area, by default, we have main thread. Now, inside main thread, I created my runnable object and I created thread object by passing what? My runnable. When I call it th.start, custom thread is started. Run method of my runnable is loaded and logic is ready to execute. After my thread object, my thread execution completed, JVM execute run method available in the custom thread. After run method completed, is it returning any value back to my program? No. Is it throwing any exception back to my program? No. Now, what is the solution to this problem? I have to use callable. Tell me. Now I am writing class my callable. Extends or implements? Implements callable. Callable is a normal interface or generic interface? Generic. What is the meaning of generic? After interface name, we will have angular bracket. This angular bracket syntax is called what? Generic. I want to tell to compiler, I am implementing callable for returning what type of value? Integer type. Or what type of value? String type. Or what type of object? Student. What type of object? Employee. So for the time being, I am taking integer. Then now tell me, when you take type, generic type is integer, the method return type will become what? Integer. Now tell me here what I should write. Public return type is what? Int. Method name is call. You want to throw exception, you can write throws. Otherwise, you can ignore. And here I am writing system dot out dot println of system dot out dot println of double quotes my callable call, and from this method I should return some value int value. Now let's see, is it compiled or not? Cannot find symbol callable. Tell me where callable interface is available. Okay, where runnable interface is available? Runnable interface is available in java.lang package. Where callable interface is available? Callable interface is available in not lang package, import java.util.concurrent. What is the package name? Concurrent. java.util.concurrent.callable. Control 1. Okay, it's not accepting enter. Now it is compiled. Why? The generic type what I have taken? Integer. So the same integer I have to write here. Int is not accepted. Okay. Now I am writing for Java 5 feature onwards. It's good to write at the rate override. So now program is compiled. So repeat once again. What is the difference between runnable and callable? Runnable will only supply the logic, but it cannot return the result, cannot throw exception. Okay, by using callable, I can return value. Also, I can throw exception if required. Next, how to execute runnable logic? To execute runnable logic, I have to create what? Custom thread. How can we create custom thread? By using thread class object. Thread th equal new thread of we will write. Now, same way, can I also use my callable logic execute by using thread? My callable of which type of object we have to pass here? Integer. Okay, this is not generic type, not required to write here. My callable MC equal to new my callable. Then here, what should I pass? MC. Accepted or not accepted? Guess. Accepted or not accepted? Callable logic via thread. Allowed or not allowed? Not allowed. Compiler will throw error. Thread doesn't accept callable logic. Look at that. We are getting compile time error. No suitable constructor found for thread my callable. What are the available parameterized constructors in thread class? Runnable is there and string is there. So callable parameter constructor is not available. So what is the important point? Third point. This is actually first point. This is second point. And the third point is runnable implementation can be executed in custom thread by using thread class. Okay, by using thread class. But callable implementation cannot be executed by using thread class. Then what is the approach I have to follow? We must use what? Executor framework. We must use executor framework, executor service. Okay, executor service interface. So very, very important. Repeat again. Why we come to, when we have already runnable, why we come to callable? So what are the differences between callable and what are the differences between runnable and callable? Callable is available from Java 5 version. It is a functional interface available in java.util.concurrent package. The problem with runnable, it cannot return value, cannot throw checked exception. As a solution to this runnable problem, in Java 5 version, we have callable. With the callable interface, we can return value and we can throw checked exception if you want. For returning value and throwing checked exception in callable interface, we have a special method called what? Call. The prototype of call method is, it has a return type and also has a throws exception. Then how to implement call method? Like how you implemented runnable interface, same way we implement callable also. Create a class deriving from callable interface and override run method. What type of value you want to return, that type of value, that type I have to take as a generic type and you return that value. So you got clarity here. What is the difference between callable interface and runnable interface? When to use a callable interface, when to use runnable interface. But the problem is runnable interface implementation I can execute by using thread class. But how to execute callable interface? Can we execute callable interface implementation logic via thread class start method? No. What I require? We need to use executor framework. Okay, we need required to use executor framework. So it leads to compile time error. So then what is a executor framework? Next point, executor framework related points. Can you please tell me once again here correction? The callable interface is a functional interface. Lister, it is available from Java 5 version. Java 5 version in which package? Java.util.concurrent package. Okay. Then what is the use of it? It is used for supplying logic to execute in a custom thread. Then what is the method available? Callable interface has below method. It has below method call throws exception. Then what are the differences between runnable and callable? Both are meant for supplying logic to executing custom thread, but the difference is runnable run cannot return value and cannot return object, cannot throw exception. Callable.call method can return value or can return object and throw exception. Runnable implementation can be executed directly by thread class, but callable implementation cannot be executed by using thread class. We must use executor framework. Now let's try to understand the next point. What is that? Executor framework. Executor framework. As part of executor framework, we need to understand few points. Okay, executor framework. Now, before going further discussion, I want you to realize one point. From where I have learned all these points, from where I collected all these points. Any new points you want to learn, you have to learn from Java API documentation only. How to open Java API documentation? Go to Google and type here which interface you want to learn? Callable. callable interface, or else directly open Java latest version. Let us take 22 version API documentation. Now open this API documentation, and here you type which interface you want to learn. Callable. Now look at the Java.utility callable showing. Click on this. Now this is the documentation given by Sun Microsystem. Okay, here callable of, they taken V, I taken T. There is no difference between V and T. Okay, V stands for value, T stands for type of the value. Okay, next. Now, what type of interface it is? Functional. This is a functional interface, can therefore be used as a assignment target for a lambda expression and method reference. Okay. So how can I say this is a functional interface? Marking with @functional interface. What is a callable? A callable is a task that returns a result and may throw an exception. Implementers define a single method with no argument called call. The callable interface is similar to Runnable in that both are designed for classes whose instances are potentially executed by another thread. A Runnable, however, doesn't return a result, cannot throw checked exception. Now tell me, if you want to execute callable, what I require to use? Executors. The executors class contain utility methods convert from other common forms called callable classes. Okay. Now contains what method? It contains only call method. Computes a result or throw an exception if unable to do so. So this is the basic idea about what? Callable interface. Now we have to move to next one is what? Executor framework. Here we need to understand one more called Executor, Executor Service, and Executors. And fourth one, future. Totally 4 you have to learn. Now, let's start with Executor framework. Now, Executor framework is available where? In association with what? Executors. Click on Executors. Then you'll come to the next page. Executors is working background with what? Executor, Executor Service, Scheduled Executor Service, Thread Factory, and Callable. So what is the main point here? Executor. Click on Executor. First, I'm giving the words. I'm making you familiar with the words. Then I will write the notes. Look at the interface. What is Executor? It is a interface. It is also available in the package java.util.concurrent. All known subinterfaces. This executor contain what interfaces, subinterfaces? Executor service, scheduled executor service. Are you listening or reading? Pronounce these words. Otherwise, you cannot remember. Executor framework starts with what? Executor. Executor is the root interface. Under executor, we have executor service, scheduled executor service. Now the question, is callable meant for executing or supplying logic? Callable is meant for supplying the logic. Then who will execute that logic? Executor will execute. But executor is the main interface. Then what are the sub-interfaces? Executor service and scheduled executor service. Tell me, the root interface or root class or super class provide specific functionality or common functionality? Common, generalized functionality. If you want more specific functionality, we have to use what? Sub-interface. So who is the sub-interface? Executor service and scheduled executor service. Now tell me, in your program, will we use executor service? If I use executor, will I get all functionalities? No. If I use executor service, I'll get service and also what? Executor. Both I will get. So what is recommended to use in your program? Executor service. I don't want execute immediately now. I want to schedule my executor service to run the callable interface implementation. Schedule. Tell me, you have a scheduling concept now? Tell me, you are currently learning Java. Schedule your job today, tomorrow, na coming days. Coming days. For future coming days purpose, now you are preparing your tasks. So Java learning is a callable and schedule execute service is your interview. Your interview schedule some other time. So if you want to execute task immediately now, then you have to use what? Executor service. I want to execute my task in future by specifying the time. Then we have to say what? Schedule executor service. Okay. Let me also add this interface also in our notes part. Now try to answer now. Executor is a interface. Executor service is also interface. Sub-interface of executor. Scheduled executor service is also interface. Now my question, if you wanted to write a program, you have to create referenced variable, you have to create object and store it in the referenced variable, and you have to call the methods. Now my question is, executor is an interface. When it is an interface, can I create object of the interface? No. I can only create referenced variable. Executor E equal to executor service is also interface. Scheduled executor service is also interface. Then by using these three referenced variables, what can I do? I can only create interface. I mean, referenced variable I can create. I cannot assign an object. I cannot create object. To create object for these three interfaces, I required implementation class. Tell me, as a developer, I am not ready for creating any services code. Who has to develop the services code? Sun Microsystem. So these interfaces implementation classes has to create by whom now? Sun Microsystem. Should I need to remember those subclass names? Not required. So in order to create these interfaces implementation class objects and return to our program, we have one predefined method. If you remember, in our reflection API, we have learned something called class.forName. Remember? Class.forName, what is doing? It is creating class object, storing the bytecode of the class and returning that class reference to our program. Na? What we have written that time? Class CLS equal to class.forName. What we call this class.forName method as factory method. What we call factory method. A method that creates the object of a given class and return the reference is called what? Factory method. Now, repeat once again. What is a factory method? A method that has a logic for creating object of one class or create object of one interface implementation class and return that object is called what? Factory method. Tell me, after loading the class, we have used one more method. What is that one more method we have used? Class.new instance. Remember, class.new instance. What new instance method is doing? It is creating the object of the loaded class available in CLS. Suppose I am loading is a class object, then it creates what? A class object and the reference is returned to our program. Then can I call new instance method is also a factory method? Yes, it creates the object of a class and returning to our program. Now all the people tell me now, here executor, executor service and scheduled executor service, all these three are what? Interfaces. When they are interfaces, it has a implementation class and that implementation class object must create and return to our program. You have two options are there. Option number one, you remember the subclass name, you create the subclass object and you assign that object to the interface variable. Option number one. Option number two, let subclass create, let Sun Microsystem create subclass, let Sun Microsystem remember subclass. Sun Microsystem should provide one factory method to us. Just we need to remember the factory method. Whenever we need executor object, just call the factory method and store in our local variable. Which approach you want to follow? Manual approach, automated approach, new keyword based approach or factory method approach? Factory method approach. Remember, 99% of the time in the project, even in advanced Java also, in advanced Java, in project, whenever we have interface contains multiple implementations, we don't require to remember these implementation class names. Common to all these implementation classes, we will have one factory method. For example, in advanced Java, you have connection interface, statement interface, prepared statement interface, callable statement interface, and next result set interface, result set metadata interface. In JDBC, all are what? Interfaces. Then these interfaces objects to obtain. Are you remembering the subclass names? No. This connection has a subclass given by Oracle, given by MySQL, given by SQL Server, and given by Postgres Server, given by MongoDB. There are so many databases are there. For each database, we have subclass is provided. That means one connection interface has how many subclasses? So many. Then as a Java developer, do you need to remember those many subclass names? No. That is a bad programming. So as a solution, common to all these subclasses, we have one factory method given in a class called what? Driver manager dot. What is the method name? Get connection. You give database detail. You want to Oracle database connection, give the Oracle database URL. Then get connection method automatically create Oracle database subclass object and returns to our program. Everyone understand that? Tell me. Now the get connection method is technically called what? Factory method. Where this factory method is defined in another class called what? Driver manager. Then this driver manager class is called factory class. What we call? Factory class. Array, you are learning what? Core Java. Who is teaching that core Java? Hari Krishna. So core Java learning is a factory method. Who teaching? I am teaching. I am the factory class. Okay. For example, bikes manufacturing, Bajaj bikes, Pulsar bike manufacturing. Pulsar bike is a factory method. Where these bikes are manufacturing in? Bajaj company. So the Bajaj company is called what? Factory. So finally try to answer. We have factory methods and we have factory classes. Now my question. For these interfaces, we have subclasses, nothing but implementation classes. Those implementation class names I have to remember, factory method I have to remember, factory method. Then where that factory method is given? Factory method is given in one factory class. Na? Who is that factory class? That factory class is what? Executors. So executor is a interface. Executor service is a interface. Scheduled executor service is a interface. These three interfaces, implementation classes, objects to create. We have a factory class called what? Executors. Next point. Generally, factory methods are static methods. Okay. Generally, factory methods are static methods. Okay. Around 5% of the factory methods are non-static methods. Generally, 95% of factory methods are what? Static methods. Tell me, how to call static methods? With the object reference or class reference? Class reference. Tell me now, how can we call the factory method for obtaining the executor, executor service, schedule executor service, executors dot? One factory method is available. We have to call that method. Everyone understand up to now? So tell me, there is a confusion in terminology. Executor interface. Executor service interface, scheduled executor service interface, executors factory class. It contains static factory methods for creating or for obtaining executor service. Executor service is nothing but collection of threads. So tell me, all these four classes clarity you got? Now, everyone try to use your little bit brain and try to answer. Executors started service. Okay. Executor, executors, executor. Pronunciation is very important. Executors has started service. Tell me, service is nothing but service, one operation. To serve. Whenever you say service, to serve, there should be one person. This is a executor service. Inside this executor service, to serve, there should be a one person. Array, simple point. I am starting one hotel here. Tell me, this is a hotel service or not? To start this, when I start this hotel service, customers are coming to my hotel. To serve to the customer, I have some servants, some servers, some waiters. Who is that service person? That service person is nothing but thread. According to Java, a person who run the tasks is called what? Thread. Inside this executor service, we have thread. Online students, are you following? We have thread. How many threads? Based on you ask. When you are creating this service, when you are starting the service, you have to tell to this. You have to tell to executors. You go executors. You start service with single thread. With a single thread. Number two, with a multiple threads. Fixed number of multiple threads. How many? Fixed number of multiple threads. Number three, dynamic number of multiple threads. You decide how many you want, you decide. For example, I start a hotel. When I started a hotel, at least one server must be there. Now slowly, customers are increasing. Then tell me, I have to increase servers also. For one customer, one server. How to increase? One customer, one server, one customer, one server for multiple customers. One server can handle 5 tables at a time. Yes. So one thread is ready to take one task or multiple tasks, multiple tasks. Then again one more thread, again one more thread, again one more thread. For example, I started service with 4 threads. That means 4 servers are there. Thread 1, thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4. Tell me, to this service at a time 4 tasks are submitted. Tell me, are 4 tasks are taken by one thread or four threads? 4 threads. First thread, second thread, third thread, fourth thread. All 4 threads are taking the tasks and running busy. Suddenly, one more task is coming. Can any thread accept this task? No, it is in waiting state. This task will be put in waiting state. That waiting state is technically called queue. This task is placed inside a queue. When the task will be taken, when one of the thread finish its currently running thread, then now the whatever the task available in the queue, the task will be taken and executed. Now try to answer. Whenever you start a service internally, what is started? Threads are started. Can I call this concept as thread pool? Come on. Can I call this concept as what? Thread pool. Pool is nothing but group of threads. Okay, group of things is called what? Pool. Okay, and now what pool it is? Threads pool. That's why it is called what? Thread pool. So tell me, executor service, executors, executor services, or thread pool is also what? Same. So tell me, what is a executor framework? A framework is a collection of classes and interfaces, set of classes and interfaces performing a single task is called what? A framework. What is executor framework? A set of classes and interfaces creating and executing multiple tasks concurrently is called what? Executor framework. What are you doing as part of executor framework? As part of executor framework, we are creating thread pool, means multiple threads as a one pool. First point, understand? Repeat again. Executor framework. What is a executor framework? A set of classes and interfaces meant for creating multiple custom threads as a one pool and executing multiple tasks concurrently in a automated way is called what? Executor framework. Second, what are you doing as part of executor framework? You are creating a thread pool, a pool of threads for executing multiple tasks. Now I am asking question. Executor framework is creating multiple threads. Okay. Can't you create multiple threads by your own? Instead of executor framework, can I myself can create multiple threads or not? Yes. Thread. How can I create multiple threads? Thread th1 equal to new thread, first thread, second thread, third thread, fourth thread, 5 thread. th1, th2, th3, th4, th5, and then th1 dot start. No, come on. th2 dots, th3 dot, th4 dot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then what? 5. Tell me. When I myself can create multiple threads, why is executor framework? Small single thread creating, you understood, na? Manual way of creating our own thread, you know. Now you learned how to create multiple threads by using executor framework. When I can create multiple threads by my own by using thread class and call start method, why executor framework is given in Java 5 version? Why Sun Microsystem forcing me to learn new features? Already learning Java is very tough. Then extra concepts you are forcing me to learn means more tough. Come on. Everyone, try guess. What is the difference between executor framework wise threads creation, manually thread class wise threads creation? ఆలోచించండి. Obviously, in executor framework also you have to implement run method or call method. That is compulsory. Extra runnable implementation plus custom thread, or runnable or callable interface implementation plus executor framework. Executor framework also background should run runnable or callable, na? Come on, guys, online students, people who are watching from YouTube, you can also give the reply in live chat. Come on, everyone. Guess. Here also I created pool of threads. Via executor framework also I created pool of threads. Pool of threads. What is the difference? Okay, you automate it. Executor framework is nothing but kind of for loop. Kind of for loop with array. So I told 5 threads I want. Then in the for loop, for int I equal to 1, I less than or equals to 5, I plus plus, thread th1 new thread. That statement executed 5 times. Next time I am passing 10. Now for loop, I 5 place what is substituted? 10. 10 times threads th1 equal to new thread, 10 times executed. You make this manual creation to loop wise automate. Then what is the difference between that and this? Prashant, YouTube live. Prashant, you can also create that pool by your own. You can make your newly created threads as a pool by using array. This is nothing but array. Array. You create a thread array. You create thread array. Store all your threads in the array. Then obviously pool created. Okay. Let me give you one real-time example. Difference between manual threads and pool threads. You know Rapido, Ola, Uber. Another is Uber. Okay. Can I say Rapido is a bike pool? Bike pool. You have your own bike. This person has his own bike. That person has their own bike. Can the real, your own bikes, can I call it as a pool? No. Okay. Tell me, you want to travel from Hyderabad to Secunderabad. Then you book Rapido. What do you did? You traveling from Hyderabad to Secunderabad. After your task completed, what is your task? Traveling. After your task completed, you are destroying the Rapido person? No. What are you doing? Releasing the Rapido person. Then he is adding back to the Rapido network pool. Na? Then again he is saying that I am free. Anybody come and book me. Now tell me, other customer for his task, again can he reuse that Rapido bike person? Now what is the difference between manual threads and pool threads? I already given an answer. Pool threads nothing but Rapido person. Manual threads nothing but outside person, you your own bike. Tell me, once th1 dot start when you run, after running run method, is this thread one still available or destroyed? Destroyed. Can you reuse the thread for running the run method one more time? No. Tell me. Now if you take executor framework, this thread is busy in running one task. After this task execution completed, is this thread destroyed? No. Added back to pool and ready for providing services to other tasks. Then is it ready to take another task and execute? Yes. So tell me, what is the difference between manual threads and pool threads? Manual threads are one-time usable. They are one-time usable, not reusable. If you want to run second task, again I have to create one more thread. Third task, one more thread. Fourth task, one more thread. If I use a thread pool executor framework, then tell me the same thread can be reused. So tell me, in projects, what you are expecting to use? Manual threads or executor framework threads? Next, threads are part of the Java program or part of the OS? Part of OS. Threads are part of OS. Of course, JVM, as part of JVM, what is there? Threads. But JVM is part of OS and threads also part of OS. If number of threads are increasing in the JVM, the weight on the JVM increased or not? For example, you take our network, okay? If a number of requests are hitting the server, then server capacity will go down and become slow. Na? So if in OS, if n number of threads you are keep on creating, At some point of the time, what happened? JVM performance will be degraded because one process can have only limited number of processes. Then tell me, if I use a pool, how many threads I am creating? Limited number, 4 5 we created. Then this 4 5 I can reuse for executing infinite number of tasks or not? Then tell me, performance wise, execution wise, which is faster? Regular manual threads or executor framework threads? Executor framework threads are fast. Okay, because they are reusable and they're fast in execution compared to manual. So from Java 5 version onwards, in projects, are you following old approach, thread-wise approach, or executor framework approach? Executor framework approach. So this thread executor framework is nothing but Rapido bikes. After using the Rapido bike service completed, we are releasing that bike and going back and add to the pool and ready to provide service to other person. So finally, did you understand the difference between manual way of creation threads and executor framework way of creating threads? Online students, everyone got clarity? Online students, everyone? Shall I? Will you help me to write notes now? Tell me now. First point, what is executor framework? A set of classes and interfaces. Those are used for creating collection of custom threads as one pool. As one pool. Pool and a unit. As one pool is called executor framework. Second, this is what is executor framework. Why executor framework? An executor framework again same point is used for creating multiple threads as one group in bracket pool in an manual way, no automated way. Third point, what is the difference between thread class wise threads, executor framework wise threads? The executor framework provided threads are reusable. Means we can use the same thread for running multiple tasks. Whereas the thread created from thread class is not reusable. Once submitted task is executed, this thread is destroyed for running another task. One more new thread we must for running one more another task we must create one more new thread. Next, executor framework gives fast execution. Why? Because threads are reusable and effectively managed. and there is no how can I say that word? And it is lightweight. What the meaning of lightweight? It uses less resources. Okay, now burden on the OS. Next, thread glass based threads gives fast execution or slow execution. Why? Because of repeated creation and destroy. Because not reusable, because it is not, and not reusable, comma, repeated creation and destroy, comma, effectively managed, not effective one. No effect, no management, because it's destroying now. And it is lightweight or heavyweight? Heavy, HEAVY. Heavy spelling, correct? Heavyweight. Heavyweight means what? Burden on the OS. OS is spending more time and resources for creating thread and destroy. So here less number of resources are used. Here more number of resources are used. So tell me, in big projects, which approach we have to use? Manual approach or executor framework? So in projects, it is using executor framework is good choice. So learn executor framework thoroughly with multiple examples. I am creating the base for you to understand and giving you examples also to understand, but later you have to explore more. As many more examples you explore from the Google and learn, then that much more, comfortable and, the rapport with the executor framework you can have. Okay. So if you are just listening my class, given one or two examples you practice and ignore, later you will face the problem. It's like, faculty student relation will be like this. Childhood you learn cycle and later learn bike and later learn car. Okay, as a trainer, we will train you all parts of the vehicle and how to drive, how to manage, how to think properly. But you are the person who has to participate in the race. Further, you have to get ready by yourself. And what is the technique way of applying the brake and releasing the clutch and then taking the turn, right turn, left turn. So all these techniques by practice you will get. If you don't practice, just listen in the class and leaving, then the topic, while you are listening the class, feel easy, but later you will feel very difficult. So that's why please try to practice properly after class. So now we completed what? Executor framework related points. What is executor framework? For the first point we learned, what is executor framework? Second point, what we learn? Why executor framework? Executor framework is creating a group of threads, multiple threads as a pool for reusing. It is used for creating multiple threads as one group in an automated way for reusing. Next, advantages of thread pool over thread class threads. Okay, what are the advantages of thread pool over? Thread pool is nothing but executor framework. Thread pool over thread class threads. Thread class based threads. Let me remove this. Let me take this as a first advantage. It provides reusability. First advantage, thread pool will provide reusability. Second advantage, it gives fast execution. Thread class wise execution is not fast because every time thread created and destroyed. So what is recommended to use in the project? Thread. Okay. So with this, we got clarity on callable. We got clarity on callable. We got clarity on executor framework. So we have to compare callable with runnable, executor framework with a thread class. Is it clear theory, everyone? Now it's the time we have to enter into practicals. All ready? Yeah, Prashant Rowdy. We will try, man. And moreover, the big real-time project, if you want, then you have to go for. I'm trying one example, but complete real-time example, if you want, you have to be in Spring Boot course on real-time project development. Okay, there you will try to use it. At this level, big project I cannot explain. Ready for practicals? So tell me, already I show you practical of one word, callable. Now we have to work on executor framework, creating threads via thread pool. So tell me, what is the API given as part of executor framework? API is nothing but predefined class. Executor framework API. API is nothing but library. Library is nothing but predefined classes and interfaces. Predefined classes and interfaces. Try to answer now. What is the executor framework? A set of classes and interfaces. What are the classes? What are the interfaces? Just now you completed. What are the executor framework? Provides below 3 interfaces and below 4 interfaces and 1 class. Okay, many are there, but we need important 4. First one is what? Executor. Second one, executor service. Third one, executor service. Fourth one, executors. Fifth one, future. Some students generally question me, sir, why don't you use Eclipse? Why don't you use Eclipse? Or all faculties are using Eclipse. In company also we will use Eclipse. Why don't you use Eclipse? Why are you using Edit Plus? If I use Eclipse, I know only one thing. What is that? Control 1, executor will come. Control 2, executor service will come. Control 1, control space, what is the shortcut? Control space. Control space, executor. One more time, control space, executor service. One more time, control space, schedule executor service. Eclipse will give you all the names to you automated way. In interview room, you will be given Eclipse or empty paper. In empty paper, you have to write entire program. Then when Eclipse is there, it is helping you. In interview room, who will help you? So if you use Edit Plus, it is not giving you any names to you. Everything you have to type by your own. When you are typing everything by your own, the words spelling will come to your mouth. Then in the interview room, you can speak, more confident way, what you are talking, what you are doing. And complete program, you are typing here. When you're typing here, line by line, character by character, everything you are typing. So in the interview and writing program, you have full confidence. For practice purpose, after you know everything, for fast typing purpose, fast development purpose, if you use Eclipse, then that will give you benefit. So Eclipse is meant for project development, not for learning. So change your mind. Now thread pool executor also will be there. That we'll see later. Now these are the points. These are the 5 things I want you know first. Now tell something about executor. What is the relation between these classes? What is executor? It is a interface. It is a interface. Executor service also interface. Executors, it is also interface. Executors class, future interface. Future is also interface. What the use of future? I didn't explain. I'll explain. First, I want you to understand these things. First, fifth point. Explain about. Okay, first let me write the relation. Executor has a subinterface. What is the subinterface? Executor service. Scheduled executor service is a subinterface of executor or executor service. The name itself is telling na executor service. Scheduled executor service. It is a subinterface of executor service. Now let's go and see the API documentation. I have executor, all known subinterfaces, executor service. Click on it. Executor service. All known subinterfaces, what? Super interface is auto closable executor. Auto closable we'll see later. Known subinterfaces, what? Scheduled executor service. Click on scheduled executor service. Known implementation classes. It has a class called what? Scheduled thread pool. Scheduled thread pool. It has a subclass. Subclasses you no need to learn. Scheduled thread pool executors. Okay, next. Executor service has implementation classes. Executor service has implementation class. How many are there? Abstract executor service, fork join pool, thread scheduled thread pool executor. Just now you have written. Next, thread pool executor. Let's see. This thread pool executor is a class, subclass of whom? Thread pool executor class. If you go down, it is a subclass whom now? Abstract executor service. Copy. This much heavy level not required. For because your reference purpose, I am writing. Abstract executor service. Next, abstract executor service, thread pool executor is subclass of it. Okay. Next, fork and join pool. Fork join pool. It is also subclass of what? Abstract executor service. Side you write. Okay. Next, what is there? Scheduled thread pool executor. It is a direct implementation. Thread pool executor. Okay. It is not direct subclass. Achha. It is both implementation of this interface and also subclass of thread pool executor. Okay, I have to write like this then. These subclass names you no need to remember. Again, I'm telling, only you have to remember interface names enough. Just for your reference purpose, I'm writing. If somebody asks, it is implementation of it. Then thread pool executor completed. Okay, this is the hierarchy. It is the subclass of whom now? Executor service. It is an implementation of executor service. So this is the hierarchy. You no need to remember subclass names. You need to remember only one thing. What is that? Executor, executor service, execute, schedule, executor service. These three you have to remember. In order to create subclass, implementation class object of all these three, I need what? Few executors. Executors is a class. Okay. This is a hierarchy. Now let's go to Explain about executor. First point is what? Executor is a what interface? Root interface of executor framework. Okay, next. It provides a method to supply. Look at that. What method is providing? Is it providing callable implementation or runnable implementation? Look at here. Executor, an object that executes submitted. Which task? Runnable task. Go and see what is the method available. Go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down, go down. What is the method? Execute. Method is execute. Now, it provides a method to supply a runnable implementation, or simply can I say runnable task? Runnable tasks. Third point, it has below method. What is the method? Public void execute of runnable command is in a place. I'm writing task. So tell me, what is the problem with executor? Can executor accept callable implementation or only runnable? What? The problem with this interface is cannot accept callable task. What is the solution? We must use its sub interface executor service. Now tell me, sixth point. And one more minute. Tell me, you started a service. You started an executor service. After starting executor service, for example, Rapido started or your system started. Until you shut down the system, it's keep on running. There is no way to shut down the task. But the two problems of the two problems with this interface are, number one, cannot accept callable task. Number two, there is no method to shut down the service or shut down the pool. Okay, once you started a pool, we have to shut down the pool. If you don't shut down the pool, what happens? That will be open, thread is keep on running, unnecessary waste. If you start the system, when you are not using system, you have to shut down. If you don't shut down, it's keep on running. So it has two problems. To solve these two problems, we must use its subinterface executor service to solve above two problems. We must use subinterface executor service. And now tell me, second point what? Sixth point, explain about executor service. What is executor service? It is a root interface or subinterface? Subinterface of executor. What is the difference between executor service and executor? It provides a method for accepting callable tasks. Also provides a method for shut down the pool or service. Okay, it has below methods. Number one, guess what is the method? Public. What is the method name? Execute. Now you want executor submitter. What is the terminology of executor framework? Every time I am saying it has a method for submit. Okay, method name is what? Submit. What is the parameter? Come on, callable C. It also has method runnable also. It is a overloaded method. Runnable task, comma, callable task. Tell me, when you submit callable task method, callable task, it should return that value na. Callable is internally returning value, right? Everyone observe. Customer me submitting my money after I'm traveling, I am paying money to Rapido na or paying to this driver? Come on, come on. To whom I am paying? I'm paying to driver or Rapido na? I am paying to Rapido. Rapido will pay to driver. Hey, you know, don't know. Common sense, wow. You are paying the money to the app, Rapido app, not giving to the driver. So here, callable task, return the value to directly programmer or to the submit method. Submit method. Submit method now return the value. Everyone try to answer. This is my initial days of confusion. When I was learning this executor framework, I had a confusion. So now let us see how many people confused. Callable, returning the result to the submit immediately now, in future. Tell me, callable logic, you submitted to whom now? Executor service. Means executor service supplying your task to one thread. Na? That thread immediately running. Submit method you are calling inside where? Main method. Inside main thread you are calling submit method. Main thread already running. Na? Once you submit the task to the service, then main thread execution is passed and going and executing the task. Then it is a concurrent flow, na sequential flow. Na? Sequential flow. What are you doing? You are submitting the task to service, service placing the task in a queue, not immediately giving the thread. For example, when you send the request to the Rapido, Rapido server immediately assigning the driver to you. No, placing in a queue and saying, wait, I'm searching for your driver. Some terminology is there, I didn't remember. Okay, I'm searching for your driver. Now he's searching, rounding, and finally, yes, your driver is found. He is the person. Meanwhile, it is searching. You can do your job, na? Now it will send a notification. Your driver is assigned. By this time he is coming. Are you ready? And then when he's reaching nearer to you, again it is sending one more notification. Notifications are coming immediately now in future. And tell me, what is the submit method? What is the submit method return type? What is the submit method return type? Come on. You want to return the result now or in future? To represent future coming result, we have an interface called what? Future. So future is a return type of the submit method. It is what? T. What type of value returning? So callable type, whatever you have mentioned here, that type only is coming back here. So now tell me, what is a future? Future is a interface. It represents the result or the exception. From the callable, you will also get exception. Either return, result, or exception coming from the callable. So tell me now, you must ask me question, sir. Submit contain runnable. This runnable return type, why you are writing future? It doesn't return any value, na? Then why require future? It should be what? Why? If you call submit method by passing runnable, it doesn't return any value. Implicit returns what? Null. Future rental returns what? Null. So they are taking common syntax. To make common syntax, they are taken like this. Let us go to API documentation to search for the methods. All people understand execute method. Because execute method parameter is runnable, that's why return type is what? Why? Now go to executor service. My dear executor service, go down. Now start observe here. Search for the method called what? Submit. Look at that. Submit. Return type is what? Future. Tell me, is runnable has any type here? No. We don't know what type is coming. When we don't know the type, what you write? Question mark. Okay. In generic syntax, I'll explain you what the meaning of question mark and all. Next, submit of runnable task, comma. By default, runnable not return any task. Not return any result. But I myself explicitly want to return result. Yes, you can also use that method, comma, T result. Okay, whatever the type you specify here, that type will come. To specify the type, I have to take generic type here. This is called generic method. Okay. I will explain generic syntax, all these points. At this minute, just you accept the syntax. Don't too much think. Next, we have another method called what? Submit of callable. Callable itself returning the result, right? So here T, this is a generic method, submit of callable of T. Okay, now, right. So now what are the methods available to submit? Three methods. What are the three methods? Submit of runnable. Okay, I will do one thing. Instead of confusing you, let me remove the T. Anyways, it will work internally even though you don't, right? Now, here, runnable not written any value by question mark. Runnable not return value, I can return my own value, then I have to take the T here. And next, callable I am taking and the callable type only writing here. So totally, how many methods available in executor service for submitting my logic? It has below methods for submitting tasks to threads. Okay, then how many methods? Three methods. Next, fourth point. Tell me why executor service? What the benefit of executor service? It provides methods. Number one, for accepting callable tasks. Number two, also provide method for accepting callable, also for shut down the pool or service. After usage completed, you can shut down the pool. It has below methods for shutting down the pool. What is the correct setting? What are the methods available? Go up, shut down, shut down. What the method name? Shut down now. And what the method name? Shut down. There are two methods are there. Shut down now. What the difference between them? We have to practically understand. So then fourth method I want to take, why it is shut down. And fifth method is return type is list runnable. And shut down. Now, so I'll tell you the difference between shutdown and shutdown now, very practical. And next, do you have any other method to shut down? No. These are all the methods remaining all just to check. Okay. And the remaining methods, no need to worry. Or you can also use what method? Close. Sixth method. Default to void, default method not required, remove it, close. So totally how many methods? First one, shutdown method, shutdown no method, and also what? Close. Three methods are there. Okay. So you collected all the methods available in executor service. Now you will learn what is executor. Now you will learn executor service. Now next what you have to learn? How to start this executor service. Correct my point? How to start this executor service? Executor is a interface provided method declaration. Executor service is a method provided declarations. In order to call those methods and to submit the task, first of all, I have to start what? Thread pool. Who will start the thread pool? Now tell me, explain about executors. I have already completed, just I am writing notes. So tell me, executors is an interface or class? Class. It is a class. One second, let me check any YouTubers writing comments. Can you sir real-time project? Okay. Online students, YouTube live students, hope you all understanding. Anytime you don't understand, please write a comment. I'm also checking your messages. And once again reminding, this is the Google Classroom. Here I'll upload your, where is this Google Classroom created here? No. Yeah. So this is the Google Classroom. I'll upload the notes, whatever I am typing and program I'll upload here. You can download from there or you can watch from there. You can join this Google Classroom. YouTube live people and online students who join workshop in the Zoom link, you can take this Google Classroom and you can join. Regular students, don't join this Google Classroom. Already you have Google Classroom regular class. There also I will upload. For quick, I am posting here. Okay, now click that link so that you can join the Google Classroom. Come back to the subject now. Tell me, what is the executors? It is a class, interface class. Now, let me. Where is that any link here given? Now, this is a weekend class workshop on multi-threading new features. Okay. Now tell me, what is this class? It is a factory class. Executors is a factory class. It provides factory and utility methods for executors, executor service, schedule execute service, thread factory, and the callable classes defined in this package. In this package, java.util.concurrent package, we have the interfaces. What are the interfaces? Executor interface, executor service interface, schedule executor service interface, thread factory interface, callable interface. For these interfaces, we need an implementation class. Those implementation classes to provide and create object and return, we have this executors class. Okay, copy, paste. Tell me, point 1. Executors is a factory class. It is a factory class. Why it is a factory class? It provides methods for creating and returning executor, executor service. Let me copy paste here. Who will type all? Show your copy paste talent. Executor service, schedule executor service, thread factory and callable, interfaces, implementation classes, objects. Tell me, interface subclasses are called subclass or implementation classes? Implementation. Okay, so repeat once again. Executors is a factory class. It provides what methods? Factory methods for static factory methods for creating and returning executor, execute service, okay, implementation class, objects. Okay, nice. Then what are the methods available in this class? Okay, in this class, we have several methods. Look at here, methods that creates and return executor service, create and return schedule executor service, and create and return thread factory and other, okay, callable also. Go down, check for the methods. What methods available? Look at there. I want to create a callable from the runnable task. We have a factory method called what? Callable. Next, we have callable runnable task for returning a result. This is also, if you want to convert runnable to callable to execute by thread scheduler, you can use this callable method. Next, callable or privileged active remaining methods are they take like. Then next, if you want thread factory, you can use default thread factory. We want, this is the method. Thread executor service is our thread pool. This is the first. This is a one method, not first method. Service, this is a one method. Second method, you can create thread pool from the thread factory also. I'm not considering. Now, second method is what? New fixed thread pool. Okay, this is. Next, we can also create fixed thread pool from thread factory also. You can ignore. Next, you can create scheduled thread pool also. Okay. Next, you can create from thread factory also. I'm ignoring. Next, I can create single thread. Instead of wasting time, I'm just copying. Okay. Next, I can also create single schedule thread pool. Now, it has provided totally several methods are there. Important methods are what? 5. Number 1, public. Which method to use? I will tell you now. Wait. Public static. Second, third, fourth, fifth. 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at here. Read the method names. You will get automatically an idea which method to use at what time. I want a thread pool with single thread. Then which method I have to use? New single thread execute. I want a thread pool with my own number of threads. I will tell the number. Then which method I have to use? New fixed thread pool. I want to create dynamic number of threads. Let thread scheduler decide how many threads. Let executor framework decide how many threads. I don't tell. Then new cached thread pool. Caching is nothing but what? Creating something dynamically. New cached thread pool. All these three are creating what service? Executor service. Immediately I want execute, but I want scheduling. Future I want execute. Then schedule executor service required. For that I have to call what? New single thread scheduler. New thread. New scheduled thread pool of core pool size. You have to specify. There is no cached size. Okay. So totally, how many methods we have for creating thread pool? 5 methods. Okay. Executor, it provides below 5 methods for creating thread pool. Okay. Totally, how many methods? 5 methods. Now, interviewer will ask a question. Very, very important. 8th question. How many ways we can create thread pool? Okay. The question is, how many ways we can create thread pool? How many ways? 5 ways. Number 1, single thread executor. Okay. Second one, fixed thread pool. Third one, new cached thread pool. Fourth one, new single thread pool, new single thread scheduled executor. Then next, new scheduled thread. These are the 5 ways. So we can create thread pool in 5 ways by using what class? Executors class. By using executors class factory methods. Number 1, single thread executor, new fixed thread pool, new cached thread pool, new single thread, 5th. Okay, na? This is the very important entry question asking. So with this, we completed theory. What the theory? Number 1, what is executor? What is executor framework? What is why executor framework? Advantages of executor framework over thread class based threads. Then executor framework API. First understanding about executor, executor service, executors, and how many ways we can create thread pool. Up to now, all people are comfortable? Then I have to start programming. Tell me, to start programming, I need implementation classes. How many implementation classes are there? 2. My runnable wise implementation is there. My callable wise also implementation there. Now my question is, do you have any factory method that returns executor? Do you have any factory method that returns executor? No, na. You have seen how many methods? 5 methods. Among these 5 methods, any method have return type executor? No, we have what? Executor service, executor service, executor service. Can I assign these method calls to the executor interface? When a method return type is subclass, can I assign to its widening type superclass? Yes. And tell me, if I call new single thread executor method assigned to the executor, which method I can call? Execute. Executor method is what? Only execute. Can I call shutdown method? No. Can I call submit method to submit callable? No. Is it a good practice of taking executor or executor service? Executor service. Indirectly, Sun Microsystem telling you, Are Babu, don't use executor as a reference, use executor service as a reference, so that you can call execute method, submit method, and also shutdown method. So now let's start coding. Ready? What do you understand? For runnable to execute, I can use thread class. For callable to execute, I cannot use thread class. What I required? Executor framework. Executor framework is nothing but, in place of thread, what I should use? Executor service. Service 1 equal to, what I should write? Executors dot, what is the name? New single thread, single thread, pool, forget method. Okay, what is the method name? Single thread pool. New single thread pool executor. There is no pool. Pool means what? Multiple threads. New single thread executor. Thread executor with a single thread. Executor with single thread. Now tell me. Here what happened at this line number? At this line number, a pool is created with how many threads? Single thread. Tell me. This is single thread accepts how many tasks? Multiple. Then here one queue is created. Na? Sir, what is queue, sir? It is a data structure queue. Na? Hey, no, ra. Data structures. Whenever I say queue stack, don't go to data structure. Real life. In real life, we have bank. Na? When you want to go and submit, deposit money, what are you doing? You are going on standing in the queue, no? Queue. In childhood, cinema theaters is there. Nowadays, because of Book My Show, you lose that opportunity. But my Jamana time, when you want to buy a ticket, we have to go and stand in a queue and we have to fight with others. Actually, by the time one favorite hero movie released first day ticket, you collect, I mean, getting the ticket is big war we are doing. Okay, at the Chiranjeev movies are time. Okay, now this time you don't have that problems. That queue is nothing but sequence. Now here what happened? One service is created, nothing but one pool is created with what? One queue. One queue. Now I have to submit the tasks. How many tasks I am submitting? Task 1, then task 2, then task 3, then task 4. I am submitting. Can this thread execute all the tasks at a time? Tell me, single thread can execute threads concurrently or sequentially? Sequential. So if you create a service with a single thread, all tasks are executed sequentially. Okay, done. Let me try to show you. Tell me, how to submit the task? To submit the task, we have service one dot. What is the method? Submit. Submit of. I have to submit either runnable task or what? Callable task. Now I am writing MR. MR means what? Runnable task. Now I am okay. First, let me take one task. Okay, control 1. Compile. What is the error? Cannot find symbol executor service. Where executor service is available? Concurrent package. I have to add import statement, right? Concurrent. And here I wanted to write one statement. System dot out dot println of double quotes main start. Last question. Last 5 to 10 minutes class. Okay, please bear. System dot out main start and main end. Now here this task already submitted. Can I comment this one for the time being? Because 2 times execution and is a confusion. Now only executor framework wise my runnable I want to execute. Control 1. Let's see is now compiled. Cannot find symbol. Spelling mistake. VIC. No? Tell me, what is the advantage of Eclipse? You no need to write this import statement. Automatically add. And you never commit spelling mistakes. Automatically Eclipse only will add. Just type exe control space executor service will be submitted there. So you no need to type anything. So that's why I don't like Eclipse learning time. So that spellings and all you will understand. Here also I have to change executor service. Cannot find symbol executors. Tell me, I should also add import statement to executors. If it is Eclipse, automatically added. Because it's manual, we have to add. And we are telling to our brain that, oh, I have to add executor, one more import statement. Sir, why you are writing 3 import statements? Write star na. Hey. If I write star, no errors. But can you know what are the classes you are using? No, na. It's a bad habit. Writing star is a bad programming practice. Each and individual class you write, it is a good programming practice, and interviewer also will get impressed. When you're writing in Eclipse also, Eclipse never writes star. Eclipse also will write individual classes separately. Okay. Then next, let's see any more compile time errors. Yeah, successfully compiled. Execute. If executed, what happened? This my runnable task submitted, executed by this single thread. We should get output MR run. Control 2. Hey, MR run coming, finally output coming. Adhyaksha, MR is coming, okay. Service is closed or still running? How can you say? Cursor is blinking. Press any EQ2 message is not coming. Tell me, once you start service, when you start one business, until you shut down, the business is running. Once you start your laptop or a desktop, until you shut down, it is keep on running. No, sir, it is going to sleeping mode. In sleep mode also internally running, na? Now I have to close this service. What to do? Control C. Forcibly, I'm terminating here. But inside executor framework, we have a method called what? Service1.shutdown. Shutdown noun also there, but I'm calling now currently shutdown. What is the meaning of shutdown? Shutdown now, when multiple tasks if I give, then you will understand. Control 1, compile and execute. Look at that. Now service is shut down. What is the difference between thread-based threads creation, executor framework-wise threads creation? Thread-wise automatically shut down. Once a thread executed, shut down. But executor framework-wise thread, it is not shut down because you have to reuse for reusing purpose. Sir, what is the meaning of reuse? I am submitting this task again. 3 times I submitted. When 3 times submitted, what happened? 3 times tasks are going. MR, 4 times submitted. 4 times MR executed concurrently or sequentially? Sequentially. Okay. Control 1. Control 2. Look at it. 4 times executed sequence. Sir, how can I say they are executing sequentially? Okay. I will do one thing. In place of MR, okay. MR is submitted. I'll also write one more. And next tell me. Is it accepting callable also? Yes. What I'm writing? MC. Okay. Or else I'll do one thing. MC, MR. Then you will understand sequentially it is accepting. MR, MC. Okay. And look at there, we'll get same output. MR, MC, MR, MC, MR, MC. Control 1, control 2. Run a call. In the order I submitted, in the same order it is executing. Now, currently we have created a service with how many threads? 1 thread. Now it is a sequential or concurrent. Now I want the service with multiple threads. Then service 2 equal to, okay, service 1 only, sorry. Let me take it as a simply service otherwise. Now service equal to, I don't want single thread service, I want multiple thread service. Then what is the method I have to use? New fixed number, new fixed thread pool. I should pass the number here. How many threads you want? I want, say, 3 threads. How many threads? 3 threads. 3 threads in the service, in the pool, how many threads are created now? 3 threads. 1, 2, and 3. Thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. Now tell me, 3 threads. In my Rapido, I have only 3 bikers are there. But how many customers request I got? 5. Then tell me, 3 bikes can handle 5 customers? They are taking only 3 threads, 3 customers. And further, the remaining 2 customers has to in the waiting state. Na? Until one of the biker free, they have to wait. Now, same story here. First 3 tasks are submitting to 3 threads. Then remaining 3 tasks has to wait in the queue. After one of the thread released, then now the remaining task will be submitted. Observe now the flow of execution. Now you will get sequential flow, no concurrent flow. No? Concurrent flow. Control 1. Control 2. Now look at that. Run a call. Again coming. Sequentially on. Okay. Run again. Sequential or concurrent? Concurrent flow of execution, you cannot decide by just one flow. Multiple times if you run, then you will feel the concurrent flow. But sir, which task is executing by, look at there now, all run, call, okay? Sir, which thread is running, which task I wanted to know. Do you remember, once upon a time, long ago in multi-threading chapter, Long last week. Huh? This week only we learn. If you want to know the thread name inside a run method, I should write what? String name equal to thread dot current thread dot get name. Then my run in plus my run is executed in plus name. Same code I should also write in callable. Online students, do you know this one? MC run is executed in name. Now let's see now. I want to take first a single thread. Comment. Compile. Execute. Look at there. What the name of the thread? Pool 1, thread 1. All tasks are executed by. Oh, sorry. I have to MC core. All tasks are executed by single thread. Thread 1, thread 1, thread 1, thread 1. What is the name of the thread? Default name of our thread class thread is thread-0. The default name of the pool thread is what? Pool 1. This is the first pool now. That's why pool 1, thread 1, thread 1, thread 1. Is it clear? Now, I am taking multiple threads. Comment this line, uncommenting this line. Bolo, what happened now? How many threads are there? 3. What is the name of the first thread? Thread 1, thread 2, thread 3. And the pool is pool 1. Control 1, control 2. देखो mr run thread 1 thread 3 call these three first run call run देख दा run call run taken by 3 threads busy then next 3 method calls taken by run one more time will you get same output or different output? Okay, 3 threads are handling 3 tasks. Suppose if I increase the number of tasks, okay, call only I am taking, no problem. Then what happened? Tell me. Look at here. Run, call, call. Last 2 calls are executed by which thread? 3 and 1. 2 is busy with other task to execute. Meanwhile, 3 become free. 3 has taken call. 1 become free. 1 has taken call. Hope you all understand now. So multi-threading is a reusable way na, or destroy and create way na? Reusable way. Okay. So all are feeling multi-threading executor framework. Which one is easy? Thread wise or executor framework wise? Online students, everyone understand? YouTubers, sorry, YouTube watching people, understood? Shall I ask one more question? Executor framework, if I give, what happened? How many threads I created? 3. How many tasks I am giving? More than 3. Then more than 3, more than 3, more than 3, if increasing, it can handle only what? 3. Now in Rapido, initially started with 3 drivers, but number of passengers are increasing. Accordingly, the system has to increase the number of drivers or not? If not increase, then what happens? Rapido collapse. Rapido business cannot be increased. That means fixed thread pool is a good idea, not good idea? Not good idea. Now what I required? I am taking new cached thread pool. New cached thread pool means what? New cached thread pool. What it is doing? We are free from deciding how many threads required. Who will decide? Executor framework will decide how many threads should be there in the pool. How many tasks we submitted? 3, 3, totally 8 tasks around we submitted. Control 1. How many threads created? Let's see now. Control 2. How many threads created? 8 threads. Okay. Now I'll do one thing. Instead of taking this submit method again and again, what I'm doing, I am commenting. Here I cannot comment all at a time. I'm in a previously I used to teach this chapter with Eclipse. My fingers are typing shortcuts. In Eclipse, we have a one shortcut to comment all lines at a time. Now here I am writing for loop for int I equal to 1, I less than or equals to say 100, I plus plus. Then service dot submit of, you can submit either run all call MC semicolon plus double quotes plus double quotes plus I wanted to also submit the index number, which call number I am submitting, index number also I am taking, so that I can track properly. Now observe how many tasks I am submitting, 100. What is the method I have taken? New catched thread pool. Then when number of tasks are increased, accordingly number of threads also increased. And let's see, for each task separate thread assigned or not. 100 threads created for the compile time. No suitable method for when I double click it becomes string, na? System.out.println you cannot give. Why? If I give system.out.println, submit is submitting to thread. System.out.println printing from main thread. Become both are concurrent. So one task will not be printed. So I have to, you cannot give the number here. Just run directly. Okay. You people know, again it will not work. Let it be there. Control 1, compile. Control. Now see how many threads are created. 65 here. Go up. Any other number for running 100 tasks? Look at that. For running 100 tasks, 65 threads are created. Here main end. Okay, now control 2. One more time, let us try. How many created this time? 84. 84. Okay. Hope you all understand 3 ways of executor framework to create. Okay. Now let's try the next point. What is the difference between runnable and callable? Runnable will not return any result. Callable return result. Now I am taking executor service. Second service I am starting. Second service, service 2. Then I am submitting callable task. Service 2 dot submit of, I am giving my callable. Tell me, my callable internally returning integer number. That number I want to use. If you want to return, callable returning that value to submit. Submit returning that value to our program as what? Future object. Yes or no? Future object. Future of, what is the type? Integer. Future equal to. Okay, future object, future. Then look at here. Is the return value printed or not printed? Not printed. Submit a task to thread. Then thread executed the callable, return the callable value to whom now? Submit. Okay, submit has taken that value, returned to our program as what? Value directly inside the future object. Integer value is available inside the future object. From the future object, I have to take the value. From the future object, I have to take the value. Remember, we have student object. Inside student object, we have student number, student name, course, fee. How did you get the student number? Array, again you are seeing my face. Get SNO. How can I get the student name? Get S name. How can I get the course? Get course. We have exception object. Inside exception object, we have message. How did I get the message? Get message. Inside thread object, I have name. How did you get name? Get name. Similarly, what is the meaning of similarly? Don't use fresh brain. Continue the same point. In the future object, I have integer data. How can I get the integer data? Excellent. Future dot get. Get, not get value. Get. Tell me. Get method will return the value as what type? Integer. So I should write here int result. Integer I can convert it to int directly. Compiler will take care of this. Now system dot out dot println of system dot out dot println of result. Double quotes. I can say callable return value. Callable return value colon plus result. Save it. Any compile time error? Any compile time error? Yes, sir? No, no. Yes or no? Spelling mistakes, compile time error, don't carry. Let's see any spelling mistakes. Cannot find symbol future. I have to add import statement. Import statement, what is that? Future. Now, import statement added. Compiler software, no, where is future available? Next. Any compile time error? This line compile successfully. This line compile. This value will come. Any compile time error? Read this error, you understand yourself. I don't tell. Unreported exception. Hey, when will you get interrupted exception? When I call sleep method, join method, wait method. When there is a thread is suspended from its execution. Suspended means what? Paused. When thread execution is paused, we will get what? Interrupted exception. Look at that. It is throwing this exception from where? Get. Oh, like sleep method, join method, wait method, get method is also blocking the thread execution, pausing the thread execution. Why? Observe. If this get method allowing the main thread to continue execute, how the result will come out? Understand? If you call get method here, what the meaning of it? I want result from future object. When the result will be populated into future object, if this thread is executed, until this thread execution is completed, can thread go next line here? No. Tell me, inside get method, we have which method called? Join. Inside get method, we have join. Inside main thread, get method internally, this service thread dot join call. So what happened? Main thread execution is passed here until this my callable execution is completed. Are you following my point? So tell me, future dot get method passes currently running thread until result is generated and returned. For example, if I don't call get method, I just submitted the task and call the future object assigned to here. Program execution, passed or not passed? Not passed. Just submitted. You are not asking to return. Are you following? You just submitted. You are not asking to return. So program execution is not passed here. Look at. Okay, na? Compile and then executed. Simply you'll get what? Main end. After main end, my callable executed. Let me pass all these for loop also. We want the second task only returning value point of view we want to understand. Look at that. Main start, main end, MC call executed in pool 2. Because second pool I created, pool 2, thread 1. Now look at this. Service is still running, but main thread already completed. Current thread is not completed, main thread already completed. But what I want, I want read the return value. For reading return value, I need to call get method. When I call get method, I should handle what exception? Interrupted exception I should handle. Why? Because get method passes currently running thread until the service return the result. So I should handle interrupted exception. E. Open bracket, closed bracket, E dot print stack trace. Hope you remember. E dot print stack trace. Control 1, compile. One more exception I should handle. One more exception I should handle. Now read that exception and you understand. Again, get method only throwing one more exception. Tell me, get method must return the result of callable return value. Callable is returning only result exception also na. Then that exception is returned to our program as exception, execution exception. If you call get method, how many exceptions we should handle? Two exceptions. One is interrupted exception, another is execution exception. Execution exception is available in concurrent package. You must handle import statement. You must add import statement. Control 1. Now program compile successfully, executed successfully, the value written from callable to us. Okay, there. Callable return value 5. After returning value, main completed. So hope you all understood how to start the thread pool. Okay, sorry, service I have not called. Service dot shutdown I have not called. That's why it's keep on running. Copy, paste, service. Hope you all understand. Callable implementation. Next, executor framework. Executor framework, how to start the service, and then how to submit the task to it, how to read the values available in the callable, and how to shut down. These are the main topics you have to understand as part of executor framework. Control 1, control 2. After submitting task, executor return, service is shut down. Everyone comfortable? You have to remember with this explanation. After going to home, you have to practice. Okay. Now, I want to write one more code. I want to show the difference between shutdown and shutdown now. Second exception is coming because get method is retrieving the result from my callable. From my callable, you may return the result or you may throw exception. If result is coming, this exception will not come. If from the my callable, if you throw exception, that exception is written from the get method as what exception? Execution exception. Shashi Shekhar, understood? Look at here. I'm taking executor service 3, executors dot new single thread executor only, one thread only taking service 3 dot submit. Remember, callable is a interface. Interface we can provide via anonymous inner class, inline thread. I want to submit callable as a inline thread. Help me how to write the code. New callable of, I want to take, okay, let me take integer of open bracket, closed bracket. Then inside, what I should write? Public override, na? At the rate override, public. Return type is what? Integer. Method name is call of open bracket. This time, I am not written the result system dot out dot println, double quotes, anonymous inner call. Okay, I want you understand exception. I am throwing new exception. You can throw any exception, okay? Exception of double quotes. Just I am writing message for fun. Okay, throw JS for fun. And now this is the code. What is written? I am submitting callable task as anonymous inner class. I am not returning the result. I am throwing exception. Let's see, is this program compiled or not? This is a future too. Control 1. First, let's see compiled or not. Unreported exception. Exception must be called. That means what here I should write? Throws exception. Control 1. Compile. Now I want to execute the submit. It is executed, submitted and executed. Will get message what? AIC call. Okay, but I wanted to get that exception. To get that exception, I should call what? Get method, na? Yes or no? The exception thrown from call method is thrown to whom? Submit method. Submit method is stored that exception inside where? Future. Did you call the future dot any method? No. That's why the exception thrown from this call is not coming to our program. Observe. Did you see that exception in your program here? No. When I throw exception, either you return value from the call, or when you throw exception from the call, the return value and exception will not come to your program because you didn't get it. Until you don't call get, the return value or exception will not come. Look at the exception is not coming. Call method is executed, but exception not coming because it is available in the future. So tell me, I wanted to get that exception to my program. For that, what I write? Try. Come on. What do you call integer result equal to future 2 dot what the method submit a get. Okay, then system dot out dot println of double quotes result colon plus result. Now we have to handle 2 exceptions. Instead of writing again and again, I'm just copy pasting here. Tell me, first, I want return result, return 7. If I return 7, exception will come or the value will come? Value will come and stored in result 7 you will get. Control 1, control 2. Look at there, result 7 coming. Now I am commenting return 7 and throwing exception. So tell me, get method is throwing exception. Which exception? Exception is directly coming via execution exception. Via execution exception, wrapping. This exception is wrapped inside execution exception and it is throwing to catch block. In catch block, we are printing that exception, print stack trace. Control 1, control 2. Look at here, we got exception. Java.util.concurrent.execution exception caused by which exception? Exception for fun. This is our original exception coming. Sir, I don't want this concurrent exception, sir. Okay, good. What you need to do? I hope you remember exception in chapter I told you. Throwable t equal to e dot get cause. E dot get cause, t dot print stack trace. Control 1. Compile, control 2. Look at there. What is coming now? Only the exception that is throwing from the call method. So this is the story about what? A call method returning the result, a call method throwing the exception. Now, let me try to understand last point here. Copy, paste. Now, service 4. I want you understand difference between submit and, shutdown and shutdown now. I'm calling service 4 dot submit. Now I am taking again MR. My runnable I am taking. MR or my anything is okay, no problem. Multiple task I want to submit. For loop I am writing for, or else let me take for loop not required. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How many tasks I submitted? 5. How many threads I created? How many threads? Single thread. How many tasks? 5 tasks. And then here I am calling service 3 dot service 4 service 4 dot shutdown. What happened? Observe. I am commenting all the previous code. In your system also, one by one you try to learn. Don't write all entire code at a time. Like how step by step I am practicing, same way you also practice. Entire code at a time, if you type and run, you will not understand anything. Now I call shutdown method. Control 1. Observe what happened. All 5 tasks executed or not executed. Tell me, step number 1. This is pool is created. Execution flow. Pool is created with how many threads? 1 thread. This is thread pool service created. Then this pool is also contains what? Queue. Now first, my runnable added. Second runnable added. Third runnable added. fourth runnable added, fifth runnable added. So totally how many tasks submitted? Task 1, task 2, task 3, task 4, task 5. All are available in the queue. Then currently, what is the task running in the thread? Okay, 1 minute. So tasks are not at submitted pool. So all are submitted to the queue, and then downline is going and executing what? Service 4 dot shutdown. What is the meaning of shutdown? Shut down the service 4. Immediately, forcibly shutting down, waiting for the task to execute. When shutdown method will shut down the service, after all the tasks available in the queue completed, then it will shut down. Now see, 5 times my runnable will come or not? Control 1, control 2. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then service is shut down. Now I am commenting this and I'm saying shutdown now. What I'm saying? Now. Shut down now. Immediately. This method executed, shut down. Then the tasks available in the queue are executed or not executed? Not executed. Hey, Ajay. Okay, only one run. Only one task is submitted, that only one task executed, then service is shut down. So, hope you understand difference between shutdown now. Which method we use in the project? Shutdown, don't use shutdown now. If you use shutdown now, remaining services are not executed. So with this, we completed what? Executor framework workshop. Look at here. All points are covered or anything is pending. What my target? This is the task target. Agenda of this understanding. This is also called what? Thread pool. Any of the words is okay. Okay. Callable interface. Difference between runnable and callable. All are you comfortable? Next, executor framework, comma, advantage of executor framework over thread class. Okay, thread class threads. EF ante execution flow na executor framework. Executor framework not execution flow. Next, creating multiple custom threads in a automated way. For that, what are the classes available? Executor, executor, executor service, a scheduled executor service, executors, future. Here, who will create the service? Executors will create the service. Next, who will supply the methods to submit the task to the executor service? Executor service. Okay, and who will return the result from the callable? Future. Okay, different ways of creating custom threads. Now totally how many ways are there? 3 ways. So we have completed, these are the 3 topics. Still we are pending with what? These 2 conclusion topics. Shall we have these 2 points discussion on Monday? Online students who join for workshop. Monday with the, okay, in this Google Classroom, people who joined here, did you join the Google Classroom? If you join in this Google Classroom, Monday, the link will be shared to you. Okay, here in this Google Classroom, Monday class link, same time, 11 o'clock. Okay, same time, 11 o'clock. I will share the link here. You can join, and remaining 2 topics plus I'm also planning you to teach. Actually, the framework target is what? Not only this workshop target is not only multi-threading enhancements. Also, I want to cover one project on multi-threading. So Monday class, we will complete the remaining 2 topics. Also, we will plan to try to develop one project. Okay. So Monday, we are continuing this workshop. At 11 o'clock sharp, you have to join Monday class. And this is the Google Classroom link, join. So that you will get the link and material. Whatever I type the program or notes, I'll upload here. You can download or you can directly use it. This Google Classroom will be available forever. Hope you all enjoyed, understood. Thank you. That's all for today class. See you on Monday. Monday class is very important. Next, regular students, tomorrow you have class. Time 8 a.m. 8 a.m. Okay, 8 a.m. 3 topics we are learning tomorrow. Okay, thank you. That's all for today class. Thank you everyone for joining workshop and enjoyed. Yeah, we will plan. Vijay, I will plan. Any questions? Thank you everyone.